Yes, crews, what the fuck is going on? I hope you are having an amazing time on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Now, today, we are going to be getting into a little something. We're going to be talking about how steroids can make you less attractive. Less attractive, I hear you say. What? How? Why? Don't all the film stars, doesn't The Rock take steroids? Isn't he the most attractive man on the planet? Don't all the successful CEOs and people, well, not all of them, a bunch of people that are successful and very attractive do take steroids, and they do reap many benefits from them. I have reaped many benefits from said steroids. However, it ain't all roses, people. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. There's a dark side that people should be aware of before they get into it. So now, let's get into it. So, there's the physical side effects, and there's mental side effects. And the physical side effects have mental ramifications as well. So this shit gets complicated. Let's start off with some of the mental side effects that can occur when you take certain compounds. Now, this is obviously the dark side. There are loads and loads and loads of positive mental side effects that you can benefit from, such as increased confidence and self-esteem and all this type of stuff. But there is the dark side. So when certain people take certain compounds, Deca and the nandrolones, the 19 Nors, Trenbolone, Deca, Durabolin, or the short-acting ester, nandrolone, phenylpropionate. When people take these, some people experience depression. Some people experience sadness. They don't have the same zest for life. Crazy shit happens when people take Trenbolone very, very often. And so basically, taking certain compounds can really mess people up. And you got to do some experimenting. You got to find what works best for you. Personally, testosterone in moderate to low doses feels great. I love the sensation of it. I love the elevated kind of mental stimulation, extra energy and confidence and all this type of stuff. But I have experienced taking nandrolone. I have experienced some change, and it's very hard to put your finger on. But some people get crippling depression from taking Deca and nandrolone. I was speaking to one pretty successful powerlifter, and he was saying he fucking hates Tren. He's never going to take it again, even though it's an amazing compound. He hates it, and he's just not going to put himself through that ever again. So I heard another very successful powerlifter say, Trenbolone, relationship, bye-bye. It really messes people up, some of these compounds, and has a crazy negative effect on their sense of well-being and their general sense of wellness. So yeah, avoid the 19 Nors if you are one of those people that's susceptible. And so that's your Trenbolone, your Deca, and your NPP. And is Ment one of them? I ain't fuck with that shit. I do not know much about Ment. But yeah, those ones can be a bit of a problem. And also, what I experience is having estrogen fluctuations can be a real big challenge to my state of mental health and well-being. Yeah, having really high estrogen, that has caused me to become very emotional. I'm like a woman on a period when I have got really high estrogen. My mood can be up and down. I can be teary for no reason. And this doesn't make you feel very confident or attractive. And also, I've heard when, Derek, more plates, more dates, shout out to Derek. he was saying that bodybuilders, when they crash their estrogen right before a show, they want to have minimal estrogen. Estrogen promotes water retention underneath the skin. It makes you look bloated and fat. So you want to be crisp and dry before you go into a bodybuilding show. And people, they crash their estrogen, they tank it down to zero, and their sex drive is done. He said that he built up a nice little rotation of 3 girls or a few girls that he was seeing, and he'd spent a few months getting their numbers, and he was seeing them all on a regular basis, and he crashed his estrogen, and he was just like, fuck this. Why do I need these people in my life? What are they bringing me? He had no interest in sex, no erections whatsoever. And that's another thing. Messing around with your hormone levels, especially estrogen levels, and the ratio of it in regards to testosterone, when they're out of whack, erection quality can suffer massively. So, all of these factors make for, making you less attractive in general. So, excuse me, I'm going to get some water. Oh, yeah, all of these factors can have a massive negative effect on your attractiveness. That's better. Now, let's get on to some physical side effects. So, you've got things like acne. Some people get really, really bad cystic acne that it bleeds. It bleeds like uncontrollably, and it sucks. And this is from hormone imbalances, having your estrogen too high, your DHT too high. It can cause really bad acne. And think about the effect that has on your confidence, knowing that, my back is covered in cysts that are full of pus and blood, and they are bleeding everywhere, and you could have them all over your face, and the scars that they leave and everything. Right. Not only is it unattractive, not only is it repulsive on an instinctual basis to see that. You see it as disease, and instantly you want to get that away from you. It's not something you particularly want to reproduce with. Then it also has a massive knock on your confidence. Next, we got gyno, the growing of female breast tissue or male breast tissue. Basically, I've got a little bit of gyno on this nipple. It's not too bad, but especially when it's being activated by high amounts of estrogen, it has a massive negative impact on how you feel, how you perceive yourself. You're constantly worrying about it. Now, getting back to acne, right? I suppose most people know from their teenage years, if they've got a spot that they're particularly concerned with, one that really hurts, a deep cyst, then they're aware of it, and it has a knock-on effect on their confidence. And the same is true with gynecomastia. Basically, if your breasts are you got like hard lumps growing in your titties, and that right, I thought the worst thing about gyno would be, oh look, my profile, oh, it looks like I've got female breasts. Nah, that's not the worst thing. That's not the worst thing. To be honest, you've got to let it go so far to get to that level. For me, I caught it before it got bad visually, and it's not noticeable with my current level of body fat, hides it, whatever. It's the fact that when it gets sensitive, like a breeze, a slight breeze, it's like stimulating your nipples, you've got budding breasts, like a pubescent girl. And then you got all the stress and worry about this. Am I going to have surgery? How am I going to cope with it? You got all this shit that you don't need to deal with, and that makes you feel less attractive. And I suppose if it gets really bad, it can make you look less attractive as well. So that ain't no good. Next, we've got my particular major problem, hair loss. I suffer from hair loss, with testosterone. It runs in my family. My dad's got some kind of valence, is that a word? Semblance. He's got some kind of hair, kind of. You know what? My dad doesn't actually have eyebrows. Look, I ain't really got eyebrows either. Is it exacerbated by testosterone use? I don't know. But I think it might be actually. I think I might have lost some of my eyebrows. So, that's one thing. I might have to get eyebrow tattoos. Nah, I'm only joking. I ain't going to do that. I'm just going to be one of them bald people with no eyebrows, no facial hair whatsoever. And then you've got the actual hair, like the hair receding and like getting thin and patchy. And when you're looking in the mirror, you're like, shit, like what? I can see my scalp. What the fuck is this? Right. Okay. Not only does having a good head of hair make you look significantly more attractive, like significantly more attractive. Literally, if you do a Photoshop of somebody and they've got like they're a bald person and you put like a decent wig on them, man, they go up in points, like actual whole integer number points on the 1 to 10 attractiveness scale that we all run subconsciously, constantly in our minds, right? So that's one thing. But then you've got the knock-on effect of your confidence as well. Like, you're stressing about it all the time. You're worrying about how people perceive you. You're dreaming about it. That sucks. Now, fortunately, there are measures that people can take that I have taken if the side effects are not too intolerable, and you can stem the tide to some degree. But really, you're fighting a like losing battle, and by the time you're old, you're going to lose a lot of that shit. And by taking steroids, you are expediting and exacerbating said hair loss. So that is definitely something to be aware of. Me, I might get a hair tattoo, I might get a wig, I might just grow my beard really long with all them androgens making it super thick and dense and that. But really, I'm all joking aside. It's something that you have to it's something that you have to be aware of, and really, lots of people they take steroids to become more attractive, and if they're having actual physical things that make them physically look less attractive, they feel less attractive because of the lack of confidence, and it's having the opposite effect on them. So, yeah, please be aware of this before you start injecting testosterone into your butt. Okay, now on top of all this stuff, you've got the worry. You've got the worry of everything. Oh, and you've got worrying about health complications. You can get like an enlarged heart, you can get I don't know, kidney problems, liver problems, like stroke, cardiovascular problems. There's a whole plethora of different health ramifications that can occur from like responsible and even more with irresponsible steroid abuse. So, yeah, worrying about these health ramifications can really have a massive impact on the vibe you're projecting, and that creates just not an attractive person to be around. Really, you're not projecting calm confidence, like calmness and confidence. You're really projecting like anxiety and stress when these are the things on the forefront of your mind all the time. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about the mismatch. So, okay, let's say you've run a few steroid cycles and they have been successful, and these physical things aren't really messing with you, and the mental things, they haven't been too much of an issue really so far. So you've put on a whole bunch of muscle. People are like looking at you different. Maybe women are starting conversations with you where otherwise they wouldn't. I mean, I know the first time I went into a nightclub type environment after I'd run testosterone for like a few months, it was crazy. People were like, I'd go to a bar and I was the first person to be served. I'm like, what? I just skipped the queue. because I'm more muscular, and like people were looking at me differently. People knocked into me like, "Oh shit, I had to do that to the biggest guy in the club," and like it was a weird experience. And for part of it, it was great because I was on coke, so I was buzzing. I was the life of the party. I had at one point. I had the whole outdoor seating area. I was telling a story about catching this dog that a dog walker had lost. And then we chased it down behind this building, and we did a pincer movement with this guy on the street, this random guy on a bicycle. We caught it behind the building. It was great, a good story. But when the coke had worn off and I was left with all of my insecurities that I had before I started taking steroids and testosterone, there was a massive mismatch between my external, like, hard man kind of appearance. Am I a hard man? I don't know. A big muscular guy appearance and the inner crying child within, with all of my problems and insecurities, like all visible when you look deep into my eyes. So this mismatch, it's it's highly unattractive. People may want to start conversations with you, and they may go, "Oh yeah, that guy looks great. Oh yeah, I want to talk to him," and start a conversation with you. And if you ain't got no chat, if you ain't got no game, if you have got massive problems with your psyche and your mental states of affairs, the steroids ain't going to cure that. They can make it a lot worse. And this mismatch, this dissonance, people will just walk away from you and just go, "Oh, that person's not what he seemed." And that to me is the worst, like least attractive thing possible about the whole steroids use and side effects. So, people, sort your head out, right? Don't just try and fix the external things, because at the end of the day, ugly guys can get pussy too, right? If they got game. So learn some game, get some pussy, and have a wicked fucking day. Catch you later. Peace!